G'day, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about key business mindsets of a great business owner. And the first one we're going to start with is action-oriented. Action-oriented mindsets involves taking actions, funnily enough, on the right things at the right time. An action-oriented business owner has a strong sense of the here and now, focusing on the task in hand and seeing it through to completion. Now, being action-oriented is incredibly useful where you train yourself to also anticipate what is coming up and take action before the event occurs so that you can maximize the benefits and minimize the downsides. Now, look, it takes mental strength to take action constantly. Never saying, oh, just put that off to next week, or, oh, that's a bit too hard. Your job is to move the business forward, and that requires taking action. It won't move forward by itself, I'll tell you, but it can certainly slip backwards faster than you ever thought possible if you're not taking action. Now, this doesn't mean to say that you just rush off in any direction just to get something done, and we all know people like that. The best action-oriented leaders spend time planning what actions to take, and once the plan is made, boom, they're in and they execute the plan. Albert Einstein once said, if I had a problem to solve and my life depended on taking the right action, I would spend 55 minutes researching the problem and 5 minutes taking the action. So what's the point? Well, action orientation combined with planning is the most powerful quality that a business owner can have. It ensures that the right things get done in the right order, involving the right people within the time frame. Now, have you heard that old joke, amateur procrastinator turning pro next year? There's no room in business for procrastination. If you find yourself putting everything off until tomorrow, get out of business. You'll be overwhelmed and your business will collapse. Many business owners get sidetracked by people issues and they lose focus on what needs to be done. My suggestion is you practice what I call ruthless compassion. Care about the individuals, but never let it stop getting the job done. Because it doesn't matter how nice you are to people if you lose your business because you didn't or couldn't take action. Okay, number 2 is being future focused. Hope is not a winning business strategy. There are dozens of examples of once successful businesses that came to ruin because they were unable to think about the future and adapt to what was coming. The only constant in our global economy is that businesses must be able to change, and that those that won't or can't will go the way of the dinosaur. Success requires a balance between two important skills: delivering results today and seeing and acting on opportunities that will deliver results tomorrow. So here's some key points to remember about being future focused. All your competitive advantage and all the customer value that you create comes from the things you do inside the business. So your role is to drive the right activities that will make a difference in the short term and the long term. And it's also to stop doing the things that will prevent you from adapting and survival. In real life, this means that you need to be constantly thinking about ways to be more efficient and effective, and staying up to date with trends and changing customer demands and technological advances that will impact your industry. Here's another tip. Strategic success requires creativity, critical thinking, hard work, discipline, the courage to be bold, and a little bit of good luck. But if you do all the thinking and the planning and you take action at the right time, you'll have all the good luck that you need. Future focused means actively engaging with people, whether they're employees or suppliers, and holding them accountable for making a personal contribution to the business's success and long-term goals. Now, if the business owner is unable to model that behavior required to move ahead in uncertain times, then the team will just stand there and they'll wait. And they'll wait. And they'll wait. It's up to you. So having a clear strategy drives future success. It's your responsibility as the business owner to develop that clear strategy and then communicate it to whoever needs to know so they can support you to create a great future for you, them, and everyone else depending on your business. Number 3 is become a calculated risk taker. Another key mindset of a successful business owner is the willingness and courage to take calculated risks. Notice that I said calculated. We're not talking about Russian roulette type business decisions where the result of getting it wrong are terminal for your business. We're talking about taking chance and luck out of decisions as much as possible, and the best way to do that is by research. Now, a lot of business owners struggle with taking risks because they don't do the research. And so they think about, 3 bad outcomes and they kind of paralyze themselves so they never take action. And the 3 things they think about are they underestimate the chance of success and they overestimate the chance of failure. This is called the, something bad is going to happen, I just know it syndrome. Or they think that if it does go wrong, it'll be much more of a catastrophe than it could ever realistically be. This is also called the sky is falling in on my head, I better not do it in the first place. Or we think we won't be able to handle the outcome if it goes wrong. But you know what? We're pretty resilient and we're pretty inventive. So we probably will be able to handle it if we break it down into bite-sized chunks. There's a couple of other things to think about when taking calculated risks. You think of all the things that could go wrong and then you decide how you'll handle them. In other words, no surprises. Put milestones and short-term goals in place so that you know where you are against your plan, so that you don't drift off the road and into the place where the big bad risk monsters live. And then be ready to pivot when it becomes clear that a particular course of action isn't working. Move while you can easily jump onto plan B. Just don't go down with the sinking ship. Number 4, be systematic. Now, being systematic means that you spend time working out efficient processes which are repeatable and learnable and can be broken down into step-by-step procedures. This is sometimes called standard operating procedures. And you might think as a solopreneur or a freelancer, what's that got to do with me? Well, remember I said earlier that constantly looking for ways to improve and to be more effective is a key trait of a really good business owner? I tell you solemnly, based on 35 years experience in this field, it is nearly impossible to improve systems or processes if you don't write them down on paper. Even giant global companies use this approach when they have a problem and they need to fix it. It's the best approach I have ever seen to fixing problems. And I use it all the time in my business when something isn't working. I look at what we're doing and the results that we're producing. And it's almost always some part of the process that's not connected or is blocked to another part of the process. So I have these things called Drano meetings. Look up the word Drano and you'll understand what I'm talking about. 80% of the time, someone assumed and they didn't check. Now, if you're systematic, you won't make those dangerous assumptions that everybody knows what's going on and they've all checked, because you know what? Sure as eggs, they will not have checked. They will have assumed. And people gloss over what they don't know because nobody likes to admit that they don't know. So ask them to check and come back to you with the result. But make sure that they know it's to make things work better, not to catch people out. This is not a blame game. This is wanting to make sure that everything works better, because everybody wins under those circumstances. Number 5 is to be numerate. Well, you won't see that on all the fancy $1 million in 37 minutes videos, will you? No. But what this means is that you can speak the language of business, which is numbers. Not just adding and multiplying, but working out percentages and getting them right. Knowing that taking 20% off 100 and getting 80 is not the same as adding 20% to 80, because that comes to 96. But you would be amazed how many people get that wrong, because the average level of numeracy in the US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and so many other countries with excellent education is that of an 11-year-old. I'm absolutely serious. So you need to be able to understand the trends in numbers as well, and the key accounting information that you're going to be able to need to run your business effectively. You must, for example, understand cash flow. You must understand how to calculate your hourly rate. You must know the different options for pricing your work, be it fixed price or bespoke, and actually be able to put those numbers together. You have to be able to understand how to negotiate, which at the end of the day comes down to numbers. And you must understand how to invoice your clients, how to keep track of your expenses. I could go on, and I frequently do. But if you're one of those people who say, I'm a great graphics designer, but I'm shit at numbers, to you, I'd say, no, out of business, and go a long, long way away. And when you've got to off some more, because you're doomed. Running across an 8-line highway and rush hour traffic with a paper bag over your head is safer than running a business without being numerate. Sorry, not sorry, if you were offended, but this is critical stuff. And my purpose is to tell you so that you will be highly successful and not consigned to the dustbin of history as just another failed attempt to run a business. I want you to shine. So, Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It'll help support the channel. And if there's anything that you'd like for me to talk about, drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that bell icon and become part of the notification squad to get notified every time we upload, because I respond to questions in the first hour. I'll see you in the next video, and I will catch you later.